So, a lot of businesses, particularly ones that are personal brand oriented, but any business, one of the easiest ways to generate more money, both in the long term but also in the short term, is always going to be intimacy. And the reason why that is, especially when you're sub 5 million a year, is intimacy is an unfair advantage that a larger business doesn't have. I mean, this is why people go to mom and pop shops, right? It's for the intimacy, it's for the connection. And there's always a percentage of people in any given market that want that experience, right? So it's the reason why I go to a farmer's market. It's the reason why I don't shop at the large box stores. And there's always a percentage of the market that will pay a premium for intimacy. So I'll give you a perfect example, which is, generally speaking, when someone is going to come and work with me one-on-one, it's relatively not available for most people, just from a cost perspective. Okay, so let's say I'm a business coach and you're a business coach. Well, in my world, I can give a lot less intimacy just because of the way that things are scaled. So I have to charge a lot more. That makes it so that there's a lot less people that are willing to buy, that are available customers. So if someone comes to me and I charge, let's say, $10,000 an hour, and you charge $500 an hour, you're probably, chances are you have a better chance of getting that client, right? Now, of course, there's always a customer at $10,000 an hour. There's always somebody that is looking for that expertise. But if someone's just looking for any business coach, person charging $500 an hour versus a $10,000, probably going to get that business faster. So intimacy is a huge unfair advantage, but most entrepreneurs look at scaling and they take out intimacy as they scale. So you might have a business that's doing $500,000 a year, and what brought that person to $500,000 a year is intimacy. But if they take too much out of it, if they don't build their business correctly, one of a few things will happen, which is in the immediate they'll be able to scale, but then they'll instantaneously go down in revenue, or their profit margin will suffer so much that the person is like, why am I even doing this? So what we want to do is to keep intimacy in the business and to strategically and intentionally utilize intimacy, both in an evergreen way as well as when you desire to have those larger cash injections into your business. So one of the things that I personally do, have done for a very long time, have mentored a lot of people to do, is to either have an intimacy product or an intimacy launch over the span of 12 months. So you might do it 4 times a year. Or it might be just an evergreen part of your strategy. That's fine too. And what this does is it takes one of the methodologies in marketing that I developed. It's called the sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane, the 3-lane method. And intimacy does a really good job at bringing someone from one lane to the next, particularly those that are at the very high end of the slow lane to the fast lane, or those into the fast lane to becoming customers. And so a lot of the times when people come to me and their profit margins are low, or they're having a really hard time getting their lead flow to become customers, it's because they don't have this intimacy component into their business. So you may have relevancy, which makes it so that somebody understands that they should buy from you. but and they may have omnipresence, which is that person looking up to you. But without intimacy, it's much more difficult to get someone to buy from you. So you can implement this in a lot of different ways, depending on your business, depending on your business model. But the thing, or the reason why somebody doesn't do this is because as you scale, if your business and your business model isn't aligned, isn't kind of strategized the right way, intimacy for the entrepreneur a lot of times is connected to burnout, right? Because if you don't create a leveraged way to build a launch or build a product or build a business that has intimacy but still has boundaries for you and allows for an opportunity not to feel like an obligation, people are like, oh my God, that's going to be too much. Or if you believe that the opportunity just simply isn't big enough for you to do this, and if you think, well, hey, you know what, if I do this, I'm only going to make $25,000, why spend all this time and energy doing it? So there's an element to strategizing how to bring intimacy both into the business on a day-to-day, like an evergreen, and in a more of a launch or marketing campaign way. And you have to connect the dots between what you can provide, what the business can provide, and what the customer is going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. But if you can connect those things, this is by far the easiest way to have like the biggest month you've had. This is the easiest way to be like, okay, you know what? I want to put $250,000 in the bank in the next 90 days. The cash, yours. Lots of ways to do this. And just recently, I put together about a 2,000 word document showing you the behind the scenes of one that I've done earlier this year, how it worked, and along with that, how I would plan and how I would help strategize someone in their business if they came to me and they wanted to do this. So the link for that is below. Highly recommend implementing this in your business. If you don't know who I am, Scott Oldford. I've helped hundreds of businesses scale past 7 figures, plenty past multiple 7, quite a few past 8. And if you want to scale, make sure you subscribe. More importantly, make sure you go and sign up for my emails. They're way better than this will ever be.